I rise today in opposition to House Bill 4052, and this legislation should give any member of this chamber who has served in local government like I did serious pause. One of the things that I value most about serving in the House of Representatives is not just advocating for the interests of my district, but learning about the interests of yours. The economic interests in Southfield are very different than the economic interests of my new friends who live in Levering or Sturgis or Holland or elsewhere in the state. A lot of you represent districts that span across multiple counties, but the 90,000 residents that I represent live in a dense 6-mile by 6-mile district in one of the most compact districts in the state. The local ordinances in my district should look different than the local ordinances in yours. And in Southfield, as was mentioned, which is a booming place of business, as the previous speaker mentioned, we have a living wage ordinance, we have a work stoppage ordinance, and others that this House bill seeks to dismantle. I sit on the Committee on Commerce and Trade, and I do fully appreciate the committee chairman for allowing the thoughtful testimony that this bill deserves. For 2 weeks, we heard testimony from statewide business interest groups saying that wage and labor protection ordinances hamper economic growth. I wholeheartedly reject that. Look at my local economy. Southfield, with its worker protection ordinances, has more than 27 million square feet of office space and over 7 million square feet of retail and industrial space. It actually boasts more office space than the central business districts of Detroit and Cleveland and elsewhere throughout our Midwest, Indianapolis and Kansas City. We are home to over 9,000 businesses, including more than 100 Fortune 500 companies here in Michigan. It's a large contributor to the state's economy and shows directly that wage protection and business growth are not opposing values. And as long as I have been involved in city government, working in the mayor's office or serving my term on the Southfield City Council, I have never heard of one single complaint from a developer, from a corporation, from a business that our wage and labor protection ordinances were hurting economic growth. In fact, quite the opposite. Just this year, Dur Systems, a German automotive robotic manufacturer, is moving their North American headquarters to Southfield and bringing with it $40 million of investment in new research and engineering facility. That construction right now is being done by the brothers and sisters in IBEW and sheet metal workers. Dur recognizes that wage protection and quality of the product matters. We also heard testimony from small businesses and independent businesses that they won't be able to survive with labor restrictions designed from large corporations. But local ordinances can recognize that, and my community does as well. Our work stoppage ordinance applies only to significant building authority projects in excess of $100,000. But we need those protections in my local community because we have such a large corporation footprint. A local unit of government knows what works best to keep their local economy thriving. Ultimately, we need to figure out what we're doing in this House and where we stand on issues of local control. Because what we're doing is giving the casual observer a case of political whiplash. Last week, my colleagues across the aisle passed a resolution which said that states often vary in custom and values and are in a position to best understand the needs and desires of their own citizens. Don't local units of government deserve to operate under the same purview? If you're a true supporter of local control, you will join me in voting against House Bill 4052. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, Representative Moss.